Ho! We're back.
Yes, sir. Finally, it's been a little while, man, but we're back. Lemonheads, episode 5 of season 9, the Evening Juice with Lemon City Live. I'm your boy Fungus. Got my boy Larry Fresh over here, the MLB man himself, and our Inter Miami guy, Xavi. What's up, Xavi? What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing? I'm all around though. Mostly Vice City, but I'm all around.
Yeah, bro. He's been stepping up his game.
I'm like Ohtani, man. I'm like Ohtani. I can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Good shit, man. So if you're watching on our Facebook, you're watching on our Twitter, or on the 5 Reasons YouTube network. Shout out to 5 Reasons Sports. So let's get into it, bro. We got our boy on deck over here. Our boy Gabby. What's up, bro?
There he is.
Actually, yo, how's it going, man? It's been a while.
I see you rocking that OG Marlins jersey and your US hat.
Good combination.
Yeah, bro. Are there any Marlins that were on that team? On that team?
Not on the US.
No.
I know there were. I know, Alcantara and some other guys.
Yeah, Cueto, Segura. Wish we had Jazz on the British team, but it just didn't happen.
Oh, that's right. Why didn't he? Is he injured?
No, because what happened was that unless their respective nationalities were playing in Miami, they wouldn't let them. So the only reason that, for example, Sandy was able to is because his team was playing in Miami.
Makes sense.
They only allowed 5 Marlins to play.
Makes sense. Right. Makes sense. All right.
Cool.
Bueno.
Nice little nugget there, bro. That's our first spicy sports nugget of the show. Come on, man.
Damn, we haven't had one. There it is. All right. All right, what I'm happy to be back. I'm glad for all of us to get together again. It's been a while. World Baseball Classic dominated, took over all of my time for the last what feels like 2 weeks already. But Gabe, thanks for hanging out with us. Let's get into it. We're going to get into some WBC talk here. We're going to talk. It's going to be good. Half the show here is going to be baseball, WBC, and then we'll wrap it up with Xavi, and we'll get his thoughts on Inter Miami and what's been going on with them, and a little bit of MLS and U.S. men's national team. But let's start off. Yesterday was the final. I don't know about you guys. I know Gabe and I were at the game. We had, we were there. We've been present for. I went to every game in person that was in Miami except the Japan.
Except the only game that I went to. You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't go to any of the noon games. I didn't go to any of the noon 12 o'clock games. And that's where you
real
went to
fans go to the games at noon.
Yeah, real fans. I wasn't a real fan. But I went to every game. I was at a game every day except the Mexico-Japan game, which was phenomenal. But we'll get into that. I was there for the Cuba versus USA one, and like last night, Gabe and I were there together for the final. Which that's where let's start off at the final here. We'll get to our thoughts on the tournament. Who was our standout player and everything. But just last night, the WBC said, yo, this is legit. This is real. People want this. People watch this. And it's here for good. I'm not going to say it was the coming out party because it's been around since 2006. This was it was 6, 9, 13, 17. This is the 5th World Baseball Classic. So it's not the coming out party. It's been around.
I would argue that it is the coming out party because none of them in the past have been as popular as this one. This is when people started to notice for real. You know what I mean?
This is the one that this is the one that I guess officially. I don't want to say coming out. I feel like coming out means that nobody watched it before.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
if you build it, they will come.
This is the one that said, "Hey, we're on the map. We're here. Come watch. This is must-see TV." And you couldn't have asked for anything better as far as the turnout. The crowds were insane. Every game, every evening game of the tournament in Miami was sold out. I know there was a couple of non-sellouts during the day. Like I think it was a Nicaragua-Israel game, and there was another game during the day that wasn't sold out. But other than that, incredible turnout by all the fans in Miami. Props.
Even those non-sellout games, Were
still
they still shitted on the regular Marlins games.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the atmosphere? The atmosphere looked like it was amazing.
Insane, bro.
The atmosphere was
Insane.
incredible, man. Insane.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
that DR and PR game. I think that was the
Oh,
best game in
man.
terms of atmosphere. That was.
Bro,
Yeah, no, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went to that game in 2015 or 14 or somewhere around there.
17.
And- Yeah, 17? No, it was before
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Maybe it's 2012 then.
Oh, 2013 then.
2013 then.
2013. I went to that game in
Yeah.
2013 and it was insane. I can't imagine how it was right now, man.
There's a lot of music between those two countries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No, I know
and PR eliminated the super team. The Dominican Republic got eliminated. That was crazy. A lot of folks saw that as a failure for the Dominican Republic. It's something for them to work on in 2026. It was not expected for them to not get out of it.
Yeah, and they're a prior champion too, having won it and going undefeated back in 2013. USA was the defending champion, having won it in 2017, and Japan won the first two. But yeah, last night you get USA, you get Japan. We go right into it. It's a couple of all-star studded starting lineups here. If you didn't know the Japanese team, like you definitely know who they are now. Homeboy who got the walk-off hit the night before, hit an early bomb in the game to tie it up. That guy, if I'm not mistaken, Gabe, he's back-to-back MVP and Triple Crown winner, right? With like 54 home runs last season in the Japanese league.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. The stat line, it's like a video game stat line, to be honest. It's just crazy, unbelievable.
Japan, are you in the house?
There it is. That's what Gus wanted. All right, but anyway,
why is he playing over there and not over here? Does he not? Does he want to stay over there? Is that a personal preference kind of thing, or
no?
Has he not gotten an opportunity?
No. There's rules, and I don't know. I don't know if Gabe is more familiar with it. I have a light understanding of it, but there's rules as to when you can actually like come over. Not only as far as like how much, it's kind of soccer-ish. There's like you have to pay, and then these teams will not accept it. And the thing is, if you wait longer, you get more money, kind of thing. If you go in at like 25 or 26 as opposed to 21-year-old. I think it's more expensive. You get more money in contract. I think it's called casting.
Yeah, I know the team. I know the team that gets paid gets like a percentage of it, and it depends on the age of the kid. It gets more expensive later on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's weird. It's not as like clear cut as like in other sports where you could just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go over there or defect or anything like that. It's a little more complicated. There's more moving parts to it, but you're gonna see some of these guys pretty soon here. What was the kid who started the night before, the 21-year-old who was throwing 102?
Oh, I can't remember his name because I would butcher it. But the kid was throwing consistent, something like that. He was throwing consistent. If you look at the playing number, there's him.
Yeah. All right, lost you there. I don't know, Gabe. Your connection was a little soft there. But homeboy was throwing 102 like nothing. He looks like he's 18 years old. So give it. I mean, Shohei also looks like he's
future Yankee.
Future whoever's got money,
Dodger.
man. Yeah,
future Dodger. I'm gonna go out and say future Dodger.
Red Sox.
Yeah,
all the big money.
All the big money.
Definitely not a Marlin.
Nah, I don't see it. Marlins are gonna go after some Dominican kid.
And if he was a Marlin, we'd have him a season or two and then sell him, and that's it.
Yeah, maybe.
We'd get rid of him at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
and then he'd peak. His career would be Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that's the usual path of ex-Marlins.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But we're not here to talk about that. Let's not get down.
Yeah, no, but
the hype with the world.
The hype. Look, the
classic.
hype was real. The crowd last night was fantastic. Very divided. I want to say it was like a good 50-50, maybe a little more Japanese fans.
USA 50-50 in Miami.
Yeah. Hey, Japanese travel well. That ballpark was loaded, full of people. The whole I was bouncing around during the game. I was up in the press box. I was down on the field. I was down in on the sides a little bit, and then I ended up around the 6th inning or 7th inning. I ended up setting up shop over by the Budweiser bar in between the porch and the bar there in center field.
Nice
right?
place.
And it was just full of Japanese guys. There was a whole front row section there of guys with trumpets playing these like fight songs and drums. And this man, they were deep. They were
The
like,
Asian
video?
version
You
of
got
the
video?
pachanga.
yeah, I got video. I'll send it to you. What's that?
The Asian version of the pachanga.
Yeah, the pachanga band. I don't know how you say it in Japanese, but they were killing it. And they had some like infiltrators there. I saw some guys in a Venezuela jersey. I saw some guys in a Derek Jeter and a Yadi Molina jersey. So you had a really cool turnout. But the point, without being there and witnessing it in person, I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like it was a different baseball experience. And then funny, this one thing happened. So the score's 3-1, Japan's up, and in the 8th inning, Kyle Schwarber hits this bomb, right? It makes it 3-2, and like it wakes up the crowd. The crowd is lit. Oh, everybody's pumped up. This Asian Japanese couple, I'm assuming, in front of us, and I'm there watching the game with a friend of mine, and this Japanese couple turns around, looks at us, and shakes our hand and goes, "Nice home run." And then he walks away, and I was like,
that doesn't happen.
"What's with your mind games, man? I don't appreciate that, bro."
Nice home run, but it won't be enough.
No, he like genuinely said, he's like,
I
nice.
know.
I know. I'm like, wait, I was waiting, like, wait, what is this? Are you gonna like, come on, give me the jab, hit me with the sarcasm? No, he was genuine, super nice,
Oh man,
and I was
that's
like,
awesome. I would have hugged him. I would have hugged him.
Yeah, like when the World Cup was happening and you saw the videos of the Japanese fans like cleaning up.
I was gonna ask you that right now,
bro. It's true, man. The baseball ones are just like this.
Did they pick up after or no?
I mean, where I was, it wasn't trash.
Do they chew and then just spit it out like the baseball people do?
I don't know. I don't know if I saw them doing that, but but they were so nice, man, and they were all like cheering and genuinely happy, and it was a weird vibe. Having seen some stuff, the games earlier between some of these Hispanic fan bases that gets a little, and stuff like that. It was a little interesting to see such a. It gets heated, but these guys were nice. And man, I'm out there in center field. The crowd is getting wild there. It's electric. The vibe is amazing, And then we get to this, top of the 9th here. USA was the home team, down 3-2. Leadoff guy gets a walk. Jeff McNeil, right?
Yeah, and then if I'm not mistaken,
Mookie Betts.
Paul Goldschmidt. Was it Goldschmidt or Mookie Betts that hits the ground double play?
Mookie Betts doubles up, hits into a double play, and all of a sudden it sets it up for Mike Trout with 2 outs, down by 1, the World Baseball Classic Championship on the line, and Shohei Ohtani's pitching because Japan said, "Yo, we're putting in our best. We're here to win this thing."
It had to be that way.
Now, I got to give props. To John Smoltz, famous, Hall of Fame Braves pitcher. I actually saw him a couple times up in the press box during the Classic. He was calling the games for Fox or MLB, and I didn't get a chance to tell him, like, dude, he called it. So when I left the game that night, I was listening to a podcast from earlier in the day, and they were talking about John Smoltz called into the Dan Patrick Show, and he was talking about the World Baseball Classic, and he said, "You know what? Wouldn't it be incredible if Japan, which wouldn't surprise me, puts in Ohtani to close in the 9th? Could you imagine a scenario where USA is up to bat with a man on or tie game or down by 1, and it's Mike Trout versus Ohtani with 2 outs in the top of the 9th, and the World Baseball Classic trophy is on the line?" He called it. Like exactly what happened.
He had a moment. He had a prophetic moment.
Bro, unbelievable. MLB Stradamus, WBC Stradamus, whatever you want to call him there. He hit it on the head. It was amazing, dude. And I'm listening to this. I'm like, that's exactly what just happened. Like, I don't understand why people are not talking about that. But here we go. We had the moment. Ohtani comes at him. He's never pitched against Trout, obviously, because they're teammates in the Angels. And man, Gable will allude to this too, but leading up to that at bat, he had struck out twice. Mike Trout lined out another time. He was 1 for 4. He had a leadoff double. And overall, my feelings on Mike Trout this tournament as a whole, I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed. I didn't feel like there's been this hype about Mike Trout his whole career. He came in right when Miggy was in his peak. Remember, when Miggy Cabrera was in his he had the triple crown. He was threatening for it. He ended up getting it. There was people saying that Mike Trout should have won the MVP the year Miggy won the triple crown because they're saying, oh, WAR was better and this, and it was a battle of new school sabermetrics, versus the old school. And I'm a little more on the old school. I appreciate the new stuff, but I didn't, that always rubbed me wrong. And the thing is, Mike Trout gets a lot of that Aaron Rodgers free pass, but Aaron Rodgers has won at least the World Series, the World Championship. He won a Super Bowl. Mike Trout's been to 3 career playoff games. Okay. And I know the people are going to make the excuses. Oh, well, the Angels, not a good team. But if you look at the list of teammates that he's had during his career, there's no reason why he's only played in 3 playoff games. I'm sorry.
I mean, not only that, he went 1 for 12 in those 3 games. That's a 0.83 batting average. And his one hit happened to be a home run. But still, that's pretty bad.
That's a spicy sports nugget if there was one right there.
It gets
coming strong.
It gets spicier. All right, so I'm gonna go with the good stuff. Trout was year, 10-time MLB All-Star. He was 3-time league MVP, 2-time MVP for the All-Star game, and what was it? 9 Silver Slugger Award. All right, so
he's super decorated.
He's super decorated. He's a great player. A guy that I would probably pick in the first round of my fantasy league. By the way, that's a hint to you, Edwin. But the good stuff goes out the window right after that, because when it comes to the big moments, he just doesn't come through. Those three playoff games right there that they got swept by, what was it, the Royals? 1 hit and 12 at bats. Yeah, in this World Baseball Classic, they named him, the Captain America. But you know who was the real Captain America, at least in my opinion? Trey Turner. He ends it with a 391 batting average. He hits 5 home runs, including the grand slam that put us over the top against Venezuela, which, by the way, is one of my favorite moments of the World Baseball Classic. Also, he happens to be the 3rd player in Team USA WBC history to hit a grand slam. The other 2 was David Wright, I think, in 2013, and Jason Varitek in 2006. And, I mean, now that was the real Captain America. All due respect for Trout. He's a decorated player. He's really good. I would love to have him on the Marlins, for example, if we could even dream of affording it, which, by the way, we can't. But outside of that, when it comes to the big moments, he just pulls a Houdini. He disappears. Yeah. Last night, he happened to be a part of a very frustrating inning for Team USA, which was the 5th. He chased a really bad pitch, a splitter. That's really uncharacteristic of him. And that was just part of a really bad inning. I mean, you had Paul Goldschmidt strike out looking, and then you had Kyle Schwarber swing at a 3-0 pitch. 3-0 pitch popping out
in the middle of a rally with 2 guys on.
In a middle rally with 2 guys on. I'll give him this much. He redeemed himself in the 8th with, I honestly think, was one of the best at-bats I saw in the entire final, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. He's up against, I think, Yu Darvish, right? Because they sent out Yu Darvish in the 8th inning. He fouls it off 6 times. And for the first time ever, he hit the most unsurprising home run I've ever seen. Why? Because every time he hit it, he would always pull it to right field, and he would get closer and closer. Sitting on it. It was like he's saying,
Wait. We lost you there. And that was a good point. Give it to us. You said he was pulling it to right field, but then what happened?
He was pulling it to right field. He was being patient. And it was almost as if he was saying, you might as well get it over with, because one way or another, I'm going to hit a home run. And that's exactly what he did. It was, nice. I honestly think when I was sitting there, I was saying, oh, this is out of here. And there it goes. So he made up for it. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
He made up for it. But
and the big thing that you said there, and the big thing that you said there is that he had a great at bat. Like, Trout didn't have any good at bats. Like, he struck out swinging in the 9th. He struck out swinging on that bad pitch in the 5th. He struck out another time. He got the 3 strikeouts in the game. He led off the game with a double, which, nothing happened, nothing developed from that in the first inning. And people are going to point to the fact that he had a good game, or he scored he had all the RBIs in a 3-2 win over Colombia in the group play, as like, oh, he came up clutch.
That's not a big moment.
No.
Colombia's not a big moment.
Yeah, like you.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, You know, that's bare minimum. You know what I mean? At that point, this was the big moment. You know, I wanted to see some hits. I wanted to see Mookie Betts had his moments. Mookie Betts gunned down a guy from center field on a one hop off the wall against Venezuela, which was sick. He had a good tournament. Everybody on the USA team, other than was it Bard was his first name?
Oh,
The pitcher who gave up
that hit Altuve.
Yeah, that guy Bard, he was just awful. But other than that, everybody else on the staff, on the team played well. USA delivered. They were a team that was loaded, you know, top to bottom with hitting. And when you if I tell any of you guys or any baseball fan, hey, it's going to be top of the ninth, and you could pick one guy in your lineup to go up against Ohtani with a chance to win the World Baseball Classic, most people are going to pick Trout. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I think it's like, yeah, maybe people should start thinking about picking somebody else, man, because you know what I mean? Like, I think the mystique is not as good as it is. You know what I mean? I think it's more, you know, smoke and mirrors than it is, you know, really when it comes time to it, bro. Clutch, man. Like it wasn't even close. It wasn't close. Those are bad at bats. All the 3 strikeouts were bad at bats, man.
He was a fish out of water. He was a fish out of water.
Yeah,
let me ask you a quick question there.
Yeah.
In regards to what you were saying, you know, they're teammates and never face each other. Who has the advantage in that situation? The hitter who has seen him pitch, or the pitcher who's seen the hitter?
Pitcher.
Why?
Pitcher always has an advantage. A good pitcher always has an advantage over even the greatest hitter. You know, they're the ones who are initiating everything. The batter's reacting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the batter's basically guessing what the pitcher's gonna throw and trying to get the timing down.
So
unless you're Tony Gwynn, then you have the advantage.
Well, unless
Tony Gwynn and Barry Bonds. Yeah, those are the only guys that.
Man, I wouldn't mind seeing Tony Gwynn in his prime take on Ohtani, because that would be a heck of a little battle right there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, man. He'd be slapping them everywhere, man.
That would be galactic.
But you know what? I don't want to shit on Trout. I'm not here to shit on the guy. He's still a phenomenal baseball player. He's going to have just a great life, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's got much to worry about. I'm just saying, like, fans need to start looking. And aside from that, let's give props to the guy who's constantly being compared to and constantly being brought up in the conversation with Babe Ruth records. Anytime you hear Ohtani, you're hearing, he tied another Babe Ruth record, or he broke another record that hasn't been seen since Babe Ruth. Like, this guy, let's just sit back and enjoy it. He won the MVP. He is legit just a freak of an athlete. He's stronger than everyone. He's faster than most, and he could do everything. You know, not only is he DHing in the final of a World Baseball Classic, he's like, all right, he was running back and forth from the bullpen to the dugout when it was his turn to bat, just so he could stay warm and be ready for the 9th inning. You know what I mean? Like, it was in the cards. They knew what they were going to do. They were going to give him his moment. And he, contrary to Trout, said, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get him 1, 2, 3. And that's what he did, man. So props to Ohtani, man. He was phenomenal. He was fantastic. He was the MVP of the tournament for sure. You know, as a winner, he was the best player on that Japanese team.
Japan, are you in the house?
We've never seen a player quite like him. At least I have in this generation.
Nah, man.
I don't think we might not ever see one just like him for the rest of our lifetime. So we better enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, man. So anytime you get a chance to watch, perfect. If you get a chance to watch some baseball games this year and you see an Angel game is on, dude, put it on, man. Go watch yourself a unicorn. Enjoy it. Even if he goes 0 for 4, you're probably going to see something you hadn't seen before, or you're going to be impressed by something. Very, very, very rarely, if ever, does he go out there and lay a stinker where you just like the guy just gives it his all. Like, his body language is great. Everything. He's exactly what you want out of a baseball player. It's incredible. But Gabe, having watched every game and been a part of so much here, take away the guys from USA, take away the guys from Japan. Give me your who was your standout player? Who was the guy that you were like just in awe? Who impressed you the most?
Who impressed me the most? Believe it or not, it's from the Mexican team, and it's not a certain somebody that had a magnet in his glove that kept catching like line drive, stole a home run, and did that little swagger. No, for me, it's the Mexican first baseman Joey Meneses, I think is his last name, or Meneses.
Meneses. God, Gabe is the worst with names, bro.
The worst at pronunciation, but the best at stats.
There you go. I'll give you that. But yeah, Meneses, he had a phenomenal tournament. I thought he had a really good one.
Yeah.
I thought Santander for Venezuela, man, I didn't know that guy had like 33 bombs for the Orioles last year, and here he was quietly just, hitting jacks for Venezuela the whole tournament. I liked him, but to me, man, Randy Arozarena was everything you wanted to see. The guy batted 4 something. He was at 500 leading into the.
I figured you were going to pick
the
him, so I looked
semifinal.
for someone
Yeah.
else. I had a feeling. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with someone that is probably less likely to be talked about as an MVP.
No, he was fantastic. I think him robbing the home run and just staring into space after he did that was the play of the tournament for me. That was the best thing I saw the whole tournament. He steals the home run, stays there, just staring like this, and everybody's like, wait, he caught it, right? And he's just staring there, and then all of a sudden he just wakes up from this trance, because that's what it was. The dude was in a trance. He was money all tournament. There was another catch that he made in another game prior. I think it was against who did they play in the quarterfinals?
Mexico.
Was it Puerto Rico? Yeah, they played Puerto Rico, right?
Was it Puerto Rico? Let me see.
Yeah. Because they were the Group A winners, and they played they were the Group C winners, and they played the D. So yeah, there was a play against Puerto Rico. He made a diving catch, and they asked him after the game, like, "Hey, how was this play? How do you feel? This and that?" And he said, "I've hit a home run in the World Series, and I've hit plenty of home runs, but that catch was the greatest feeling I've ever had." Like he said that was the greatest play he's ever been a part of. And then, the next game, he does an even sicker play, where he steals the home run in a bigger game. So I can only imagine where that one ranks. But to me, Randy stood out, man. He was phenomenal. Gus, what about you? I mean, I know you weren't at many of the games, but you got to go to a game. How was your experience? What stood out for you watching it as a fan, man?
Bro, I went to one game to support Nicaragua, obviously. Like everyone, I didn't expect Nicaragua to, win the World Baseball Classic or anything like that.
They almost beat Israel.
We almost beat Israel. We had the lead for most of the game.
Well, Israel was choking there because they had loaded the bases twice, nothing happened, and then
But you know what? When I looked at Israel's
in the eighth.
When I looked at Israel's team, and they have more major leaguers, more minor leaguers on their squad than Nicaragua does. And most of Nicaragua's squad is filled with guys that play in Nicaragua's league. So
yeah.
But the
it
guy
was nice
that stood out to
Rich
me,
Blyer too, former Marlin.
But the guy that stood out to me is Duque Hebert, bro. The guy that as soon as he played against the Dominican Republic, the Nica guy played against the Dominican Republic, one solid inning, just striking out all those all-stars. As soon as the game is over, gets a contract from the Detroit Tigers, bro. I was filled with pride for my Nica comrade.
That's what's up, man. I don't think there was a better moment in the entire World Baseball Classic than that. That was legit the moment of the World Baseball Classic. It doesn't get any better. That's exactly why you do things like this. This is why Keith Olbermann, as much as I like him, he's got to shut up. That was a bad take. You have moments like this. Whether he amounts to something, in the majors doesn't even matter. The fact that he had this moment, incredible, man. Good for him. Great for him. That was my favorite
awesome
moment.
Storyline, one of many. There was a lot of storylines in this World Baseball Classic.
There was. It was so much drama, so much good stories here, and now we got to wait till 2026. But
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So I feel like these World Baseball Classics are not held according to a certain schedule. It's just like whenever they feel like it.
No.
Why?
What happened was 2006 was the first one, and they said that the next one would be 3 years, and then after that it would be every 4 years because they wanted to it up and do it 1 year quicker to get it, keep it popping again, and then it was supposed to be 4. So from 9 to 13 it was fine, and then from 13 to 17 it was also 4 years. It was fine, but then it was supposed to be 21. Yeah,
and then COVID happened.
Exactly, COVID happened, so they pushed it back for 2 years, and that's why we're here.
Okay.
But man, shout out to the Marlins they were able to hold it down. You know, the crowds were great. We even had Cuba. We didn't even touch the Cuban factor. Cuba played a game in Miami against USA. You know, that's insane. We had so many incredible stories, and
even had a guy defect.
Yeah, we had a guy defect, and everything went off.
Yeah, the bullpen catcher.
Yeah, and everything went off without a hitch for the most part. You know, there was
kind of looks like Edwin like 10 years ago.
I've had like 3 or 4 people tell me that, man.
He kind of does.
They're like,
Oh,
they're like, yeah, bro, did your brother defect? And I'm like, bro, defected a long time ago, okay?
a lot of controversy in that Cuba game, though, with the crowd control and security and not allowing certain banners and people with shirts.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like we were in the USA where like, you know, you can wear a shirt that says, hey, Castro sucks, or
yeah.
You know, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird to me.
There was some elements that were kind of off. But again, it was just like it was just there's just so much. Like, hey, nobody gave Cuba a chance to make it this far. I think that was another like oversight thing, you know, where they were like, all right, there's no chance.
There he goes.
Hermano,
Edwin.
Is he hiding in your house right now, Edwin? He's like he's in your kitchen right now.
Is this a scam? Edwin is running. He's trying to make it as a baseball player, so now he did this.
Get down. Escóndete. Yeah, no, he definitely, you know, we're definitely related. But again,
for sure, dude, like younger brother.
Look at that.
And it was bittersweet, man. I know you got to remember there was family there at the Cuba game that was seeing their relatives play for the first time ever, and they couldn't get close to them, you know?
That's
and they
wild.
couldn't approach them, and they couldn't be with them, you know? You couldn't celebrate with them in this moment. You know, I was out by the bullpen of Cuba watching that game, and you could see when the players were walking by, like the fans were waving at them and crying, and it was a lot of emotion. You know, it's hard to separate, you know, your political feelings with your emotional feelings and, you know, your human feelings, you know, over players playing a sport. But what does it represent? It's a lot, man. It's a lot. And I think, again, overall in the big picture of stuff, I was surprised at how well it just happened. You know, it could have been a much more volatile,
very organic. Everything was,
and it felt like everything went through for the most part without a hitch. I found out, I didn't know this. I'm in the press box, and it was the Puerto Rico Dominican Republic game. I didn't know Daddy Yankee and Mark Anthony were sitting right underneath my section.
No,
that's why everybody kept looking up. You thought it was for you?
I was wondering what
it was for
saying, you know? Yeah, so I looked down and I was like, what? And I see Mark Anthony like, like he was into it. And Daddy Yankee, dude, he was there repping. He was an ambassador for the tournament. He did a great job. He was great.
Did you tell Mark Anthony how we should stop playing his song at Inter Miami games?
I was trying to drop a little string with a note, like, hey, oye, call me, you know, like this was, but it string wasn't long enough. But again, the stars were out every game. The stars were out every game. Last night in particular, I ran into OG 1993 Marlin Orestes Testrade out in the outfield.
I saw that picture.
And it was so cool. Funny, quick little note on that, real quick. He's there, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Orestes Testrade. I took a picture with him in 1993 when I was 11 years old at a Publix, okay? Because he was signing autographs for the Marlins there, right? And I see him, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, and he's like, coño, by Westchester, right? And I was like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was great, dude. Super nice guy, super legit. Very funny thing. He played from like 89 to like 92 in Japan, and he was a power hitter there. He was famous, you know. He had built a reputation. Played for the Marlins for 2 years, 93, 94. Then went back to Japan for 1 year before he retired. And there was people there stopping him and asking him to do his pose that he used to do back in the late 80s and early 90s when he was a ball player there. Every time he would hit a home run, he would do like this like samurai thing, like whoa, like that. and people are there, and he was taking pictures with people, and he's like, how do they remember this? This is like 25 years ago. How do they still tell me to do this? Super nice guy, man. Very, very cool. I know Gabe got to see and talk and meet at Duque, which was
yes,
come on,
sir.
bro.
I shook hands with him. Yeah, that was a heck of an experience. He just walked up to me because I was talking to a coworker, and all of a sudden he just walks up, shakes hands with the guy, hugs him, and then he introduces himself to me, gives me his hand, and I just shook his hand. I'm like, oh, señor, en honor. I was like speechless. I wasn't even.
Gabe was like,
that.
oh my god.
No, something like that. More like I said to my coworker, I go, I am never gonna wash this hand ever again.
Oh man.
Hey, bro, that's a not one, not two, not three, four-time World Series champion, bro. Four-time World Series champion. But yeah, man, a lot of the stars were out every game. There was a bunch of people there. It was, and again, it went smooth, man. Last night after the game, the celebrations on the field, the players and everything. The Japanese fans were going nuts out in the outfield, taking a bunch of selfies. If you check out our boy Dennis Sosa Photography on IG, he posted a bunch of pictures of the celebration out there. It was really cool, man. And overall, just happy, man. Happy. Next week, the Marlins, start. We're going to see. It's going to be weird going to the stadium now and not seeing, 36,000 people cheering there.
We won't have to fight for our seats anymore in the press box.
Having a great time.
Yeah, I will say this. Gabe, let me ask you. Of all the games you went to, what game and what moment was the loudest it got in the stadium for you? Because there was one moment that stood out for me where I was there and I was like, wow, I need hearing protection. Like besides the obvious goosebumps that I was getting, it was just so damn loud. My ears were hurting.
Oh no, for me it was Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. It just didn't stop. I could barely hear myself think. It was that loud. The stadium shook, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Definitely, that one was probably the most sustained one. But for me, Trey Turner's Grand Slam, like literally blew the roof off the place audio-wise. It was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life, dude. I was like, I was just blown away, just amazed at what I just saw. And then, bro, it was just
you
legit
you worked next to jet fighters.
Yeah, bro. I was like, I need hearing protection, man. This is gonna hurt, again, shout out to all the fans there and everybody. And Gabe will be at opening weekend. He'll be there for a couple of the games. We'll all be there. So let's see, man. We'll have Gabe back on and do a little Marlins talk, once the season starts. Maybe again next week. If Gabe, if you're free and you want to come on and preview the Marlins a little bit.
I'm definitely looking forward to Marlins baseball, and I'm also looking forward to the ice cream machine coming off the IO because it was not present during the World Baseball Classic. It was one of the few disappointments, very, very few, that I had of the tournament, which reminds me, just to drop a little statistic that I learned. So when we were sitting in the press box, they said, tonight's paid attendance, and it was for numbers sake, it was 36,098. But the part that started getting my attention was the total attendance at Lone Depot Park across 15 games. It was 475,000. The
all right, Gabe. You're gonna have to say again what was
you're
the
gonna
attendance.
Have to repeat that.
Yeah, the total attendance was.
Total attendance of Lone Depot across 15 games was 475,269.
Wow.
And then for the tournament itself, 1,306,414. That's a lot of people.
All records for World Baseball Classic, and they just continued to break. But hey, we loved it. We had October baseball in March, meaningful, important baseball, and man, I'm looking forward to it in 2026. But I'm also looking forward to this season. I feel like this also, now. It helps us roll into a baseball season, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen, and we'll see. We'll have some more time to talk about baseball as the season progresses. But Gabe, thank you so much. Be sure to Gabe will have his recap done by tomorrow. Should have it out on LemonCityLive.com about last night's game. You can check out all his recaps for all the games and his whole entire World Baseball Classic coverage, as well as his Marlins coverage throughout the season. And be sure to follow him on Twitter at Gabe Writes Sports. So, Gabe,
I got one last nugget for you, Edwin.
Oh, give me.
All right. So when I was researching a little bit on Trout and the like, I came across a CBS Sports article from like a October.
Okay. You came across an article. What? Say it again. Your connection's broken out.
That of all the active MVPs, only Ohtani and Trout are the only two guys that have never won a playoff game.
Ooh. You got to break that up then. Somebody's got to leave that team.
Yep, it's Ohtani. He'll be gone after the season.
You think so?
I heard he's going to be with the Marlins. Yeah, I heard the Marlins are going to get him.
Yeah. The Marlins are going to get him, and they're going to get Aaron Judge too. Who else are we going to get?
No, we don't want. We had
Mike
Ichiro.
Stanton back.
No, we had Ichiro, and he's going to help us get Ohtani. But all right, well, we gotta talk some Vice City here coming up now. But Gabe, thank you so much, man, for hanging out with us, bro. Have a good night, bro. All right.
Have a good one.
Japan on you in the house.
Oh man, that was good, man. Dude, he came with it strong today, bro, with the Nuggets, man. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It's time. Let's change the appropriate background here because now it's time to do a little Vice City FC here.
Yeah.
Xavi.
I like that.
Xavi, what the hell's going on, dude? I had him in my power rankings in my top 10. I had him as high as I think it was 5, 6, 4 or 5.
Fourth, dude, they went up to like fourth.
I had him up to 5. I had to kick him out.
After 2 games, I mean, the first 2 games, they won the first 2 games. They looked pretty decent. But after 4 games, we see that Philadelphia might not be as strong this season as we figured.
Yeah.
Because they've had some other the first game against Montreal, but Montreal might be better than we thought because they beat Montreal, but Montreal's been pretty decent, hasn't been bad. The last on the road woes continue.
Yeah.
So continue. The coach said that after the first game, he's like, I consider the season a continuation of the journey from last season.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it is the same thing. Hopefully it's not, where the team is super strong at home. They held down the fort 2-0, 2-0. But then when they go on the road, something just happens, and they not only do they get some bad breaks, because it's not like they played horrible against NY, against New York City FC. They didn't play a bad game, and then this last game wasn't too good, though. The last game against Toronto FC, a team that beaten 5 times in a row, they didn't play their best game.
Yeah,
it's their first game without Gregory. The coach doesn't want any excuses. He had a mini rant about that after the press conference because everybody kept asking about Gregory, and he said, "Hey, no excuses. We have enough quality."
Let's give people a little background here in case you, because we didn't have a show last week, in case you didn't know. Mm-hmm. So Inter Miami won the first 2 games, like Xavi said, but then
2-0, 2-0.
2-0, couple of 2-0 bangers, including one over Philly, which was a big win at the time. Mm-hmm. Still is, but at the time, very big win. Then they went on the road to New York, NYCFC, who we all thought would be an easy win. That's not a good New York team. That's a team that's lost a lot of their players.
Tough venue. It's a tough venue. It's a very uncomfortable venue. They have that advantage where it's like a ping pong table where it's a special dimension that only you have.
Uh-huh.
So you got that home field advantage. The little drops and stuff. Like it's a weird place to play.
It is a weird
and they have the advantage. But
they did, and they took advantage of it. But again, even after that game, you still were kind of hopeful because that game ended 1-0 on an own goal on a cross that went off of McVay's leg.
Anybody could have won. Yeah, it was.
So you still felt kind of good, but this loss at Toronto. Now I didn't get to watch that game. I was working one of the WBC games. Tell me what did you see having watched the whole game? Like, where was the big problem? If you could put your finger on what happened in Toronto, where was it?
Tell you, obviously, my perspective, because I've heard a whole bunch of different things, but I do believe that the midfield was. Well, there was something missing. There was when I talked to the coach, when I asked, my question in regards to that was, every position in the team, a forward, midfield, different. There's always a captain, like a leader on each position, and for the midfield, it's definitely Gregory for Miami, right? Yeah. So who would take over? Who would be the next leader, in his spot? And he mentioned Gene Mota, and he said Bryce Duke. Like, those are guys that he thinks.
Your boy,
right? Yeah, right. He disappointed me that game. But what I saw and what I wrote is that I didn't see them being fluid. I didn't see this progression. I didn't see something like a purpose. I saw a lot of touching around and movements, but I didn't see Pizarro had his worst game of the season, I think. And I've been tweeting, that he's having a pretty good season. So it's the first, I think, regular game kind of too bad that he's played all season.
Okay.
But he was a little bit wild. He would lose some balls, and then like his defending wasn't so great.
It was really cold up there too, right? Like the temperatures were very, very.
No excuses. The coach says no excuses. No damn excuses.
Well,
okay?
yeah, isn't Neville's thing is like he was doing sun dances to try to get like the stadium hot and everything. He likes the heat. This was the opposite.
Now he's a beach guy now with Beckham. They're beach bums now, so they used to. But I just didn't see the midfield mesh. They brought in Duke, and I before the game I tweeted out, I was like, yeah, this is a big opportunity for him. It's year 2 with the team. Last season he had a breakout season, so now we're expecting more. Now there's expectations for him. He's not just a young kid coming in. No, we showed he can do something. He led the team in assists last year, and he was very, to my liking, he was very cautious. I don't know if it was the tactics that the coach wanted from him, because he did go all over the field and try to play with everybody, but he was very safe. It was always the safe, very safe ball. I didn't see some of his cockiness, like the moves, and it was just too safe. And I didn't see anything special from him. Pizarro, I didn't see anything.
Let me ask you about Duke. Do you think that him playing safe, it has something to do with him not getting consistent playing time? Dating back to last season and
he's a little further down. He's a little further down because he has the qualities maybe like a little bit further up to be more of the attacking midfield, because there he's playing an 8 and he can do it. He can do it because he has the ability to do it. I don't know why he's playing so safe, but obviously whoever says that not having minutes as a starter doesn't affect you is lying. You can come in every game 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's not the same as being a consistent starter. You're starting. Mentally, you're because on the bench you're really not sure if you're gonna come in or not, because the coach, he has tendencies, but it doesn't always work that way. There's guys on the bench that dress up and don't see a minute. So yes, I think that has an impact, because he played his best games last season when he was on a consistent run of starting. So you get into a flow, and it's a lot of mental. There's no set plays. There's no set plays. They're kind of movements that you understand, but there's no set plays. So sometimes he might see a pass here, but the guy, they haven't played so long with each other. He doesn't understand it. He might move in a different direction. Yeah. So it does affect. Now, Malta, I'm expecting a big season from him too. And I don't think he did bad, but he dropped into Gregory's pivot spot, into his spot. And the thing that Gregory does, and I wrote that in the article, because I thought about it, it's like all these guys have a lot of quality. They have a lot of skill. They're really good players. But do they have the grit and the dog that Gregory has? And you need that. You need that bad guy, like Scarface. Say hello to the bad guy. You guys need me. well, say hello to the bad guy. That you need that guy in every team. You need that guy. And for Miami, it's Gregory. He has quality, but he's the bad guy. He's poking, he's hitting, he's knocking, he and no apologies.
But can I make an argument that, all right, yeah, it's nice to have that guy, but at the end of the day, these are all, adults, professional athletes that they should know. They've played. I'm sure it's not the first time that they haven't had their dog guy in battle here. But this was a pretty bad showing overall. Like there was no attack. The defense, gave up 2, lackluster goals. They were outperformed. Like there was nothing to brag about, this Toronto game. Going back into, watching highlights and watching the replay and stuff afterwards, now watching it live. But from the people who did watch it live and then I was getting the same feedback, which is just, abysmal.
The worst performance so far out of the 4.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, we've got 4 games with Joseph Martinez now. We've had 4 games without Leo Campana. When them 2 are together, we can assess there. But give me your assessment of Joseph Martinez so far through 4 games.
Okay, and I happen to touch upon that in the article too. It's his 4 games. Miami went out of its way to go get him.
Yeah.
They had to get out of the contract. They do stuff to make him come here. Yeah. And he's here now, and he's not showing his best version. from the beginning, the coach has said, even preseason, hey, we're taking him slow. After surgery, it's already been more than a year. We're taking him slow, and he's working his way back into shape because he hadn't played since like May of last year. Because the coach over there had stopped putting him into play. So he's not in his best version. He's giving an effort. Joseph looks slow out there. He looks a little. You know what? He looks like a little. He's small and he's kind of thick, but he's not looking quick or fast. Like Cafecito saying. He has the instincts, but it's just not going in either. They're giving him some feeds. He's gotten some good opportunities, and he hasn't put them in.
Is he still not fit? You think he's still not fit?
He's still not fit. He's still feeling his way, I think, into a team. And over there, he has, before and now there's Thiago, but they had above average quality person feeding those guys. And everything, the trick to the goal scorer is feed me, Seymour. What did Pozuelo do to Higuain? And I'm not just saying because Pozuelo was here, because Higuain, his form, he got better. They help each other. But you have to have a guy that if he puts it there, you put it in. Because if you just have the guy that puts it there and the guy can't put it in, it doesn't work. They have to work together.
Let me ask you, what about his body language? Like, are you getting any early Higuain vibes when he first got here? Oh my God.
No. He's focused. He's motivated. I think he was a little more frustrated in this game, but he hasn't given that attitude. He's known to be a little spicy, right? Yeah. So, but he hasn't shown that yet. I think he's happy to be here. He's happy he has his kid. Like, he's in a good moment right now, and he's in a place where he wants to be and he wants to play for the team. Yeah. So I think he's good with that. It's just he's not in his great form. I don't think he's getting the same quality balls that he got there just yet. Yeah. He's starting to learn how they all play, and he's had chances and they haven't gone in. The one that went in was offside, just slightly offside. So I think this time with the Venezuelan national team, he's going to be back over there. Hopefully he gets some playing time over there. Maybe he scores in some of these friendlies, because goal scorers is you got to see one go in and then you get
So
get some
wait,
more.
You just brought up something. So wait, he's not going to be playing for Miami this weekend.
He's not playing. Robert Taylor also, and I don't recall a couple of the other guys. So Miami's going to have to put some other people in, but we might have a Leo Campana sighting, if not this game, the next. But the coach mentioned, they thought maybe Toronto and hopefully Chicago. So I'm pretty sure he will be coming in. Okay. If not, they got a couple of options with some of the new guys. I mean, Coco can play forward.
But we need it. Without Joseph this week, without Robert Taylor, coming off of 2 losses, you don't want to be the team that's 2-3. There's a humongous difference from 2-3 to 3-2.
Especially all the credibility they built up, all the momentum. Because you're 2-2, and you can say, okay, they were away, blah blah blah. But if you get beat by a Chicago team that's not stacked, and I don't think you can underestimate them either, because on any given Saturday, anything can happen. But
Chicago's the worst team in the East right now. They have 2 points. They have only Colorado is worse with 1 point. They're Kansas City, the Galaxy, and Chicago are at the bottom.
We're going to see how deep Inter Miami is, because if they might not have their 2 big dogs up top. They might not have. Well, they're not going to have Robert Taylor, who's like the sixth man of the team. Like, the guy comes in and he always performs. Yeah, he always performs, and he's solid anywhere they put him.
Now,
so it's not an easy game though.
It's not. It's a trap game. Classic trap game here. Cafecito says Chicago will also miss a couple of important players. Yeah.
Yes.
But again, end of the day here, we need Neville to show that he's not a motivational speaker who gets results. I want to see something tactical come out this week where he understands his deficiencies, understands the holes that he has in his lineup without Joseph Martinez, with potentially not Leo Campana in there, with obviously no Gregory, with no Gregory, with none of these other guys. What is he going to do? He's really got to come out here. He can't play it safe with some wishy-washy lineup here. He's got to come out strong and really take it to this team, man. Like, we need a strong showing here. We need a solid win to get people, back on track with this team being what it is. Because I'm sorry, man, this is Miami, and this is a title town, the expectation is it's not just we're gonna make the play. It's top 4. It's we got to host a game here.
He said that. He said that they're aiming for
So
top in a game here.
that's as high as he was after that, Philadelphia win. He's gonna be as low as he's ever been if we don't get 3 points this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You have time to prepare. You've had a full week. Figure it out. Do something. I want to see something from Phil Neville here. I want to see Miami really come through and make something happen.
The players have to be prepared. I think tactically he always gets dogged. They say he doesn't know. I'm not so sure. I'm not sold on that. But I see a lot of there was a lot missing from the players in that game. Because we talk about Gregory. Gregory covers so many people's back. But on the goal by Toronto, the second goal, they get caught out of position incredibly. I mean, you had Franco Negri.
Mm-hmm.
He goes up high, which is great. But the team, it's basic movements. If he's got, there's a space. People have to rotate. Well, there wasn't a rotation. They stole the ball. The ball got moved to the opposite side of the field. The team shifted, and like little kids, they all went, and nobody watched their back. So Bernardeschi, who was it? Mark Anthony Kay switched it to the other side to Bernardeschi, who was basically all alone. And then the defense had to shift again, and everybody was blaming Neville's kid. Like they're all knocking on him because he said it's his fault. And in that goal, it wasn't his fault. There was like 3 or 4 different movements from the midfield where people didn't go where they were supposed to be. Pizarro didn't cover the man's back. Bernardeschi comes in, and then you get Larrea cutting in with nobody coming, to defend. He just
how does that happen? Is that like a lack of communication? Is it a lack of preparation?
I think maybe all of the above. In preparation, I think the coach prepares them for these things. But as a player, these guys are experienced players. Pizarro, I've been tweeting that this has to be a redemption season for him. He's got all the skills. He has all. This last game, he looked lazy to me defensively. And one of the reasons was on that play, he kind of cuts in with Duke, and they're going in, and these guys are just going behind their backs, just going behind. And then Larrea makes a run all by himself. Nobody's there. And then when they do shift to try to go to Larrea, Harvey had his guy, but he saw Osorio going in, and he cut to try to get there. So that's why everybody's knocking him and saying, oh, no, it was his guy. It wasn't. He had his guy. He was where he was supposed to be. And when everybody shifted over, he went to cover that guy because he was open. Yeah. And they scored. But it was a whole team, like the movement defensively for the team was crappy on that play. It was really crappy. And it starts in the midfield. It starts with the midfield. And that's where you miss Gregory because he covers so many people's backs and cut plays. He used to screw up a lot with the ball, but he covered people.
I'm going to turn it to Phil Neville here. No more Gregory talk, bro. We got to move on. It's been a game. We got to find the guy who's going to.
You need Malta, you need Pizarro.
There you go.
And you need Duke to haul ass and cover. Duke gives an effort. He's not the greatest, defender.
As polished, yeah.
But you need Pizarro to step up defensively. And you need Malta to carry that weight back there. He's going to have to carry that weight back there and just give the ball easy to the guys up top and cover his spots.
Yeah, I agree with the fact that Pizarro needs to have this type of redemption season here this year. Like this is definitely like, bro, you were DP, you're this guy now. Like this, you got to show that you got something here. You know what I mean? Because
not here, where everywhere he's gone, he's lacked. He's missing something. He has the tools, but he's not doing it. He needs to do it. He needs to do it.
Tell me now, Chicago, Saturday, 7:30, Drive Pink Stadium. You're gonna be there. Do you think? Let me ask you first this: do you think these 2 losses and the poor play, the really exceptionally poor play in Toronto, is gonna bring a damper to the crowds on Saturday? You think there's gonna be a dip in attendance because of it?
I don't think it's going to be. If there is, I don't think it's much because first 2 games,
La Familia guys are going to be there.
They're always there.
The other people. It's the people on the sidelines.
The first 2 games, the people have that memory of there, being in that stadium and winning. So that's there. But also like the crowds, the fans have gotten together a little bit more, and I feel the atmosphere. Remember, I had talked about the atmosphere still not being there. It's getting a little bit better, and people are having more fun before the game. So
Okay.
I think, and it's fun. It's a fun time. I have friends that have gone for the first time that have never been to a game. They love the music. They love the all the crazy stuff going on in the stadium. So I think we don't have the greatest attendance either, to begin with in the league. We don't have the greatest attendance.
That's why.
But I think if it's not gonna, I don't expect it for this game to drop. If they bomb this game, then I do.
Yeah, because I don't think we have the best attendance, but we definitely have a home field advantage. We've proven
absolutely.
that. So
Absolutely.
I don't, but it's based off attendance. That home field advantage won't be there if the people aren't there. My next question is, what's your prediction? Saturday against Chicago, are we taking the 3 points? What's your score prediction here? Give it to us.
This was tough. I have to say they got to take it because in the article I wrote that if they don't take those 3 points, their momentum, their credibility, everything to start the season is coming down. Last season, I used to compare it what is that called? Not the railroad, the roller coaster. The roller. I allowed brain fart for a second there. The roller coaster. I used to compare it to roller coaster, and like you put it 1-0 into wins. The roller coaster, and because it was up and down, and they're doing the same thing, man. They're going up, and now they're going down, and so they're inconsistent, and they need to win this game. They have to win this game, and they have to start at least tying or doing something on the road because it cannot be the same thing.
So what's your score?
Season.
What's your score prediction here? You going with Steve 1-0 or what?
No, I think there'll be more goals. I think they tend to have at least 2 goals.
They haven't scored since their last home game.
Yeah.
So
lucky for them, they're playing at home.
But yeah, Miami's missing some players, but they're also going to be missing. I don't know if Borgelin will be back, but if Borgelin, let me tell you, if Borgelin is back, I don't have that scoop, but if Borgelin is back and Campana is back, I think that's a powerful front. So, I think Miami's going to take it, and I'm going to go. I don't want to go 2-0 again because
I'm going 2-0, baby.
3 in a row. 3 in a row.
At least
3 in a row. 2-0.
I mean, I'm being conservative. I was thinking 5, but I'm gonna go 2. Chicago sucks,
I think they might surprise. I'm gonna go
Gus,
maybe
going 3.
3-0.
Nice.
3-0. I was gonna say 3-1, but I like the 3-0 more. I think they're gonna surprise. I think if Borgelin is back and Campana's back, I think there's a little boost because when you get one of those stud forwards up there, you get a little more hyped. So yeah, let's go 3-0. Let's go 3-0.
All right.
2 snaps, a twist, and a kiss.
We're all in agreement here. But I will say, we're homers.
Are you ever gonna say they're gonna lose?
If they lose this week, then I'm dooming them for the rest of the season. I'm gonna be that guy who says, no, that's it. This is the make or break game for me. As a fan, I'm not gonna say bandwagon fan, but as that fair weather fan, I'm gonna just, if they lose, I'm just
against the worst team in the conference. Is such a cop out, bro. Hey, come
on. Duke, Malta, and Pizarro need to have big game as individuals and as a unit. They need to have a big game now in this game against Chicago, and they need to show something. Duke needs to show me something because I hype him up. I've been hyping him up. I think he has what it takes to be a very good player, but he needs to do it. He needs to be consistent. You know? The coach, no excuses, right? No excuses. Like Coach no excuses. Pizarro, no excuses. Mota, no excuses. This is a game that they have to dominate the midfield and make the team win. They need to lead this team.
I like Father Xavi over here slamming the table.
My guy in the back, the big Ukrainian.
It's a dad move right there.
He that guy's a bad guy. He just comes in, he's consistent, and he does his stuff at fundamentals. McVay, he had that little own goal, whatever. I forgive him because he's been very solid at center back.
Yeah.
Negaty's been pretty good. Just this last game, I didn't like the fact that he got caught up so high and just, twice was just catching.
Hold on. I gotta ask you again. Okay, this power dad move that you did. It's such a power move that the dad.
Which one? The slamming?
Yeah. How often do you use that against your kids? Like, is it as effective as I think?
No. I have to be pissed to do that.
Okay.
I usually with the kids, it's a look. I have a 2-year-old. So now when he does, and this one, I have 4 kids, and this one's the.
I can't believe you have one in college and one that's 2. Like you just hate your life.
Don't ask. That's for another segment. There's a long story behind that.
His soldiers only watch periodically.
The little one is like a hurricane. So now what I tell him is like, hey, if he's acting up, I give him the look, and then I go like this, the pinchy claws.
Oh,
I just go like that, the pinchy claws goes no. He doesn't move. I don't have to use the pinchy claws, but they're there just in case.
bro, that's such a Colombian move right there. My mom used to
The
fucking
pinchy, yo.
Oh my god,
My
the
wife's
pinching,
mom too. Yeah,
my mom, bro, dominated everything with the pinch, bro.
The pinchy
That
claws.
and the claws.
I call it the pinchy claws. Yeah. So
See, there was
like,
the pinch. There was the pinch that she would do to me when I was bad, and then when I was exceptionally bad or doing something that I really shouldn't do,
exceptionally bad.
Exceptionally bad. Usually, it was a church thing. We'd be at church every Sunday, and I'd have to sit, like this. If I started, dozing off or not paying attention, she couldn't pinch me. So what she would do is she'd reach over, grab my forearm like this, like that, and dig the nails right here. Dig it into my arm. Yeah, and I'd have the little marks down, and I'm just like, that's how it was, man. Ears,
my ears will get pinched.
Nah, man. We all know.
Hey, we turned out okay. Now they'll say that's abuse, and they'll call,
That's why I said I'm not having kids, bro. If I can't do what they did to me, then I'm not gonna do it, But all right. So we made mention that this weekend there's gonna be some teams that are gonna be short some players because there is an international break.
The league, yeah.
But the league is still playing. So as MLS. We're gonna have to go through. But before we get into a little, we have U.S. men's national team. There's really not much to talk about. They're playing Grenada this Friday. The roster came out. There looks like the conversations and the reports that are coming out of the camp is that a lot of the players, apparently, even Pulisic, liked Berhalter. They liked what was going on. Obviously, the investigation came back, and it showed that
I said that, and some guy told me that I need to improve my comprehension skills.
I don't know, man. That guy needs to figure it out. But no, man,
he should have apologized. If he was like a man, he'd write back and say, "You know what? Shit, I screwed up. I listened to the whole interview, and you're right."
Yeah. But at the end of the day, here it's looking like Claudio Reyna and his wife, I forget her name. They're just a couple of Karens. It happens even at U.S. men's national team.
They're soccer parents that got exposed. That's all that is.
Big time exposed. Apparently,
I'm sorry, I cut you off, but don't give Berhalter a pass because there's a backstory to all this. Yeah. And it all started when Reyna got Berhalter's son, like kind of put him off to the side on the team and then traded him. So that's where they think that Berhalter is retaliating against his son. So that's where all this little back and forth is going.
This is all
mature, and they're both.
This is the worst of soccer parents. I still think they got to get rid of everybody because I wasn't happy with
agree
at the World Cup. So
I don't think it's going to happen. I think Berhalter's back.
It's starting to feel like that. It's starting
unless Hudson's picking up steam because with that little comment Pepe made, that little comment. Well, I don't know, but with that little comment
Pepe made a comment, but
they might just keep him and go safe.
What did Pepe say? What's the comment?
That this guy is like when they're attacking players in the third and the final third, he allows them to be more creative. If you think you have the capacity to make a play happen or something happen, he gives them that freedom.
But I feel like every coach gives their good players that freedom.
It makes me seem that Berhalter kind of gave him like a book. Go out.
I think what happened was
don't do this. Don't go one-on-one too much.
I think what happened is that Pepe and some of these guys get the freedom, they fuck up, and this guy says, "Hey, bro, I gave you the freedom," and then you screwed it up, and then they're like, "Oh, you didn't." No, exactly. But look, I still think they got to go after somebody else. They need a whole change of culture here. Some of the names that have been rumored. Obviously there's the Jose Mourinho name that keeps popping up. Thierry Henry was very open about saying how he wanted that job and he would like that job on an interview on, I think it was NBC Sports or Sky Sports, one of those. He talked about it very openly.
He's on CBS. He works for CBS Sports.
Oh, CBS. Jesse Marsch, the coach of the fired coach of Leeds, former coach of Leeds. I don't want him, not because he's not good, but no, man, like if you go coach in USA, you're not coaching in Europe. I want more US coaches in Europe. You know what I mean? Like if you're a good one, I don't want you to just be here coaching the US men's national team once every 4 years. No, man, go out there and become a legend in Europe if you can. Go out there, get another job, continue to coach. I don't think like him coming to coach the national team would be, a win for him.
Is there a favorite? Is there a favorite right now?
Curtin, also the coach of Philadelphia. He said that he wanted to, that he would be interested. But
he would even be. He said he would even be interested as the assistant too.
Yeah, but the thing with him is kind of like Jesse Marsh, but in MLS. Like, dude, you made it to one MLS Cup final. Continue to build on your legacy here. Like, you're a good coach. People like playing for you, and there's a lot of praise about what you're doing in Philly. Continue to build that. Don't give up on that. I want to see MLS be good. I want to see coaches in Europe be good.
But who's on your list then? Who's on your list? Because you're like narrowing it down to.
My choice is either Mourinho or Henry, because like you got to go for Mourinho would be incredible. No foreign coach
Did Bielsa
ever
pick up a
won a
team?
World
Did
Cup.
Bielsa pick up a team? Or are you still available? Marcelo Bielsa.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's if you want a culture change, a culture shock, or anything, that's one right there. But I
feel like Mourinho would be the guy because there's nothing left for him. Like, he's literally won everything. He won that Conference Cup. He won Europa League. He's won Champions League. He's won leagues everywhere he's played.
That would be fantastic for you.
It would be great.
I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it. I honestly, my thing, like, if Thierry Henry really wants it, he did a good job with Montreal. He played in MLS. Yeah, he did. He took him to the playoffs. That was a good one.
Oh, gosh, fun.
Thierry Henry, bro. Thierry Henry has not been a good coach, man. When I saw that he wanted to coach U.S. men's national team, I got super excited. But then when I started looking back at his coaching pedigree, I was like, he didn't really do very well.
He did good. He did good in Montreal. He left because he wanted to go back to Europe, or I forget the actual reason why. But no, he did a good job. Montreal was a good team. Montreal, even up until last season, was a good team, and that was based off of what he implemented and what he had started there.
Who do we have as a front runner?
I don't know. That's the thing.
There's nobody.
There's really nobody.
That's where it looks like Burkhalter's coming back.
Exactly. That's where I think
he's coming back.
That's where it's happening.
And if you get Polishek, one of your star, the face of the team. Reyna's not the face yet. If ever,
saying that.
You have him, and then you have in the background the other guys, backing him up and saying, the culture, the fraternity, we like him, the players, we like his style, blah 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 blah. The easy thing is bring him back, and the U.S. might just do the easy thing.
Yeah.
All right. Berhalter sucks, man.
Yeah, but you know what? But you look at the results. But then you look what you just said with Thierry. Go back and look at his results with the team. And you look at the things he's won and his record and all that stuff, and you gotta give him some
beat
props.
a shitty Mexico team a bunch of times.
But he did it though. But you win. But he won. He won. He put trophies up there. He put trophies up there.
Beating a shitty Mexico team.
Now,
dude,
even before him, we're used to beating shitty Mexico teams.
Dude, he beat him like 3 times in the same year, and like he.
Look, I get that, but I don't want a coach that just beats Mexico. I want a coach that threatens in the World Cup, that threatens in other things, and we haven't
with this
threatened
opportunity
anybody.
that we have right now with these players we have right now playing at home.
I agree, but give me a name that's realistic.
No, I get you. I gave you the best names. I gave you the best names that have been rumored out there and that have made their intentions known, but this is also U.S. soccer. They're gonna fuck it up.
Way, Bielsa doesn't appear to be coaching anywhere. So
no, that's why I mentioned him, because he's been mentioned. He's been mentioned, and he's a culture. I mean, he's a great coach. I just don't know if he would fit in here.
Look, bro, I'm available. U.S. Soccer, holla at your boy. All right.
As what? As a backup goalie?
As the head coach, and I got 2 assistant coaches that I can bring with me, and then a third one also. Okay, so
I'm in. I'm in.
We'll bring the whole Lemon City squad.
We'll do like Scaloni, like Argentina. Oh, they'll criticize us at the beginning, and then
I'll take all the press conferences.
We're idols.
I'll take all the press conferences. I'll answer all the questions.
You're a great speaker.
I'll answer all that stuff. I'll be like, bro, give me all the smoke, bro. I want it, bro.
You become a celebrity overnight. You become a celebrity.
Ted Lasso, baby. Which, speaking of, I'm gonna go watch Ted Lasso episode 1.
I've never seen one episode, believe it or not.
Bro, get it.
I've never seen it.
You have Apple TV now? Go watch it.
Yeah, I do, but I don't want to, because I don't want to get caught up in all that. I hate having people catch up. If I like it, then I have to catch up.
It's only 3 seasons. This is the 3rd season, and it's gonna be the final season ever. They're not doing another season, which is great. They said, hey, it's 3 seasons long, and that's it. So go. First of all, slap yourself. Second, go back, watch season 1. It's probably the most feel-good, great TV show that I've seen in a long time. It's legit. It's just,
I hear everybody talking about it,
show.
but I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go watch that now.
So we don't have a consensus of who's gonna coach the team.
No, we don't.
And then we don't even know if Messi's coming to Miami anymore.
No,
although his ass is getting booed over there, and like he's not having a great time.
For the next show, we gotta give people,
Give them what
Leave
they
them wanting
want.
more. But before we do go here, I do want to ask, because I was curious, we've had 4 weeks of MLS. We've had a lot of good action. There's a lot of good teams playing and everything like that. And you guys have been able to sample some. Gus, this might be the most MLS you've watched in a 4-week span, before, or the most diverse, because of all the action, all the teams playing, now that all the games are on one night, and you could watch something, whether it's free on Apple TV, they have select games, or on the Fox broadcast, you got something to watch. It's good. Of all the teams you've been able to sample and dabble in a little bit, what team have you enjoyed watching? What's everybody's team to watch when it's not Miami?
I mean, obviously, I'm covering Orlando.
Okay.
They just lost their first game of the season, and they dominated that game. So they should have won. They should still be undefeated.
Wow.
You know what I mean? They control possession. They outshot Charlotte, almost doubled their shots on goal. They were unlucky to lose that game, honestly.
Yeah.
I kind of put it on Ferran Torres. I mean, he's very young.
Facundo.
My bad, Facundo Torres. I always make that fucking mistake.
No, Fernandez's cousin.
No, Facundo's cousin is Nahuel. And Jerónimo.
Nahuel. Yeah, Nahuel. Anyways. So, Facundo Torres, bro, he put it on himself to be that guy that's gonna be the finisher. You know what I mean? But in games like this, where you have so many opportunities, he's gotta put one in the back of the net. At least take away a draw.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, Orlando's at Philadelphia. It's one of the free games on Apple TV.
That's gonna be tough.
That's nice.
So
game.
good to watch.
But
Philadelphia has lost
got
2 games.
Losses. Yeah, Philly's got 2
losses.
losses.
Yeah, but both have been on the road. They've won both their home games. So
well, they were legit. I got 3 teams for you.
Give me
that pop off immediately that I enjoy. One, the story of the season, St. Louis City.
Yes.
Expansion team starting 4-0. So that's the storyline you want to follow, and you want to see
St. Lunatics, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it to you guys when I think
is there a supporters group called the St. Lunatics? Please tell me.
I don't know, but you might have just started something.
You got it started, dude.
When they played the scrimmage here, that they whooped Miami 4-0. I don't know if we said. I remember saying, man, these guys look better than like your average expansion team. But I never expected 4-0. So I'm not gonna say.
No. St. Louis is at Real Salt Lake, free on Apple TV at 9:30 p.m.
Should be able to do something there. Well, and then I have Atlanta United. I think they're playing. They got some solid. I mean, you got Thiago, but you got Caleb Wiley, and you got a generally strong young team, and I think they're playing very well. And then I enjoy watching LAFC, because it's like if you're watching the Lakers, it's like you're watching the Lakers, So I like watching LAFC, and those are the 3 teams that stick out to me when I'm not watching.
It's gotta suck to be the Galaxy. Because the Galaxy were LAFC. You know what I mean? They were the class
they have
of
a little
MLS.
drop. They have a little
they
drop,
have a
but they still got their
huge
titles. That LAFC
I understand that, but
new kids on the
LAFC
block.
right now, bro, they like you said, they're the Lakers of the MLS, man. They took that from the Galaxy.
No. Hold on.
But you gotta respect the
5
rings,
titles.
man. Yeah,
they got 5 titles.
I get it.
Look, they're not the Lakers yet. They're playing
Don't
great.
get ahead of yourself, Fungus.
You're the one that said it.
You know what they are?
You're the one that
No. I think what he meant to say is that
like people want to see them like Showtime.
They're the Clippers that have won a championship where the Clippers haven't. They're the Clippers in the sense that they're sharing the city, but they actually won a game. They actually won a chip, and they're playing more Lakerish than Clipperish.
But if the Clippers win a championship, they're still not going to get the attention. I meant the Lakers because the Lakers always get the attention.
Yeah. But again, the Galaxy
LA is getting that attention right now.
The Galaxy,
5-time, man.
5-time, one good little win streak, and it's all attention on the Galaxy again.
So
I like Atlanta also. They've rebounded nicely.
Plus their jerseys are fire too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good looking teams. But Thiago Almada has 8 goal contributions.
You saw that goal that he scored. That goal that he scored made Robert Taylor's goal just shrink a little bit there. You remember, we're like, oh man, this is and then you see the goal that he scored, and you're like, oh, who's gonna top this goal?
Yeah, that's the goal of the season so far. He's got
the camera angle, everything it catches. It was beautiful.
dude. He's got four goals, 4 assists in 4 games. So and the team is 3-1, tops in the East, or second place in the East behind.
He's putting up numbers.
St. Louis is
and this league is a tough league. It's not just a Mickey
so
Mouse league.
I like watching them. Atlanta is, where are they this week? They're in Columbus.
That's a good
on
game,
Apple
but they
TV.
don't got
though.
Cucho. Cucho's out for like 5 weeks.
Oh man, that's a bad blow for them. I'll be watching. I'm gonna try and tune in this weekend, catch some of the games. For you LAFC guy, it's on Apple TV, 10:30 Saturday night, so you get to watch a little late night with LAFC, which is nice. I like those.
I fall asleep like 10 minutes into the second half.
Well, you made it to the second half. I'm impressed. But anyway, we got a lot of games going up there, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll come back next week. We'll have another good show. We went a little long today. We had a guest, so it's okay. Big thank you to Gabe for hanging out with us, bringing the nuggies, bringing the info. Thanks for Steve for hanging out with us too. Xavi, always a pleasure. Gus, same thing. Any final words, guys?
Japan on your in the house.
That's the chef kiss right there. Good night, everybody.
Miami better